Turning to Goliath, you're now shipping 10 amp hour prototypes with much higher capacity. What does that step change mean for automotive partners?
Well, by moving from our previous prototypes, which were 2 amp hours, to our latest prototypes, which are 10 amp hours, we've suddenly moved into a zone of increased credibility where we're producing cells that are powerful enough, have enough capacity, that they can be integrated into modules and packs. If, for instance, we take existing cylindrical cells in the industry, if you used a 21700 format, so apologies for the jargon, but this is what the industry uses as a standard reference for a certain size of cylindrical cell. These are often between 5 and 10 amp hours of capacity. So by having a pouch cell that's got 10 amp hours of capacity, you're suddenly in a comparable zone, and people can start engineering that cell into a battery pack.
You've highlighted safety, weight and cost benefits. How compelling is the data you're seeing compared with incumbent lithium-ion solutions?
So we commissioned a consultancy called Balance Batteries to take the data that we were able to demonstrate from our cells and work out what the effect would be on a battery pack in a typical EV. And the result that they came up with was that they were able to save £2,500, so $3,000 for those of you watching in colour. They were able to save that from the battery pack cost. They were able to get a 20% weight saving, which then translates into a longer range for the vehicle. And then thirdly, they were able to take a third off the charge time that battery pack would need with a standard lithium-ion cell. So a drop from 18 minutes down to 12 minutes.
The automated pilot line has achieved 93% yield. Why is manufacturing yield such a critical inflection point for investors?
So manufacturing yield is so important at gigafactory scale. Gigafactories don't make any money unless they have a yield of at least 90%. Often when you're doing a tech transfer, the gigafactory operator, before they would really contemplate taking a license to a pilot line or transferring that pilot line technology into the gigafactory, they would look for at pilot line scale a yield of about 80%, just to give them comfort that they could then continue to improve on that at scale and get up to 90. If you don't operate above 90% in a gigafactory, then you lose money hand over fist, and there have been some very high profile failures in the industry in 2024 and 2025 because that threshold was not crossed. So the fact we're able to get such a high yield, 93% on our automated pilot line, gives our customers a lot of comfort that we have a process which is transferable.
You've also produced early 50 amp hour cells. What milestones need to be hit before automotive customers are ready for A and B samples?
Well, the conversations that we're having with customers right now are around minimum viable product. What's the MVP that they need to be able to go into production and start to sell product to their customers? In the past, we've said that is probably around 50 amp hours. Frankly, we're seeing a lot of interest in our 10 amp hour format. We don't really mind the size of the pouch. We have got them ready to go. It's all about the economics and the module design, the pack design, and the integration into the vehicle. So as soon as we get that MVP agreed and somebody is excited enough to want to then take the next step, like the step that Certec took with us for Stereax, then we will continue with our commercialization and move into that licensing model.